Do you ever just think you want to make better content about your music and your setup, but you want it to be a quick process that doesn't eat into your music making time, and more importantly, make a bit of cash to pay for your gear? Maybe it's just to entertain, to inform, or connect with the community, or just to brag about the sheer amount of cash you've spent. Well, I've learned some shit over the last few decades, let me tell you. No, literally, let me. It's not about finding the biggest audience, just the most relevant one, and you can start to make an impact really quickly, and even some cash to buy more gear with quite a small following. And you can niche without planning to expand, and with a good strategy and just a few thousand views of video, you can start to get really consistent results and even make some money. So imagine this time next year having the synth of your dreams and it's all paid for by your videos, and I'm going to prove it's friggin' easy, and then I'm going to break it down for you. I'm not going to rap, So I got scouted by one of the top A&Rs for a major and worked with a Grammy and Ivor Novello award-winning writer and producer who's wrote some of the biggest songs over the last 20 years plus. And he actually emailed me a couple of days ago. I need to get back to him, in fact. And then off the back of that, I spent time in some of the most amazing studios you can imagine. Off the back of one video on YouTube that had like 30,000 views, and I had less than 500 subscribers at the time, which is more than 29,000 views. I appreciate that, but it's not as good as 31,000, let's face it. And I wasn't even monetized on YouTube. And I've never really hit numbers like that since, so, and yet recently I've grown a better audience than ever. You. I started making videos to document my modular journey, and it helped support that journey financially, and it helped a load of other people too, which is a bonus. Anyway, I was doing some research on my community board for a live workshop I'm hosting soon on making this music content strategy, and I got a comment saying that their goal was to make enough money just to cover the equipment they need during the year. But they also said that music doesn't sell, and they loved the idea of eating into precious music hours, churning out content. But I honestly think this is the wrong way to look at it. And it's mainly due to the fact that people think the process needs to be really difficult, and it doesn't. And they think that you need loads of views to monetize, and you don't. If you can just get a couple of thousand views consistently on videos on a really specific audience, then you're likely to have a hugely engaged audience. Then it's just about identifying what you can offer those people to make their lives better. Because that's the thing, we're talking audiences, but we're actually talking about people. Now, this person who commented, he puts kind comments on my videos quite regularly. In fact, we wouldn't have even been having the chat without the content that I posted. And I said making a couple of thousands a year is really achievable, and that even though there's an initial investment of time, like with everything, eventually it can just become like this fluid process that don't really eat up too much time at all, but you just need to know the process. So here's what you friggin' do. Firstly, you set yourself really specific and achievable goals. So not just like, I want more views, but like, I don't know, I want to raise awareness on a product, such as a particular song, or I want to learn something new about the people that watch my videos in the comments, or I don't know, even just enjoy yourself. That's a good goal. But then once you know those goals, you can think about who needs to see the videos to achieve the goals. And you can use an avatar if you like, which is where you imagine one person and everything about that person. I sometimes picture all of you naked. It's not for the video, I'll just do it. Some people name them. What does the day look like? What do they want, need, etc.? This becomes easier as you get more data and you can refine that person. Then you need to think about what makes you unique and why people might want to listen to you, and that's in your story and in your values, and you need to stick to them. And this can be evidenced in your music style or the way you frame your shots to present gear, but if it looks like every other low-effort shot that you see on Instagram, then it's never going to stand out. Again, it's about being known as the person on a specific topic or genre. So an example, DivKid, who I admire, Ben, in the synth niche, he does really long, detailed modular product videos, almost like video manuals, and it's really specific to him, the format that he chooses. It wouldn't work for me. I'm just better at cracking knob jokes, and I'm good at using modular in a more traditional songwriting environment, and I've not really seen anyone else do that. So that's my sort of USP, if you like. The easiest idea for repeatable content is obviously performance videos with text to tell a story, maybe, but the story needs to be impactful if you're going to do that, and the shot needs to be really engaging. People need a reason to care, and you might just have massive tips. If you smash these things, then it'll make you become like an authority on a specific subject or in a genre, and then you'll just need to experiment with the formats and try different ideas based on other people's ideas that you admire and just tweak them to find what best suits you. And you need to try a few videos in each format or in each topic, and if it isn't reaching the goals that you're setting, then you need to move on to another format and idea. Don't keep repeating the same mistakes. Eventually, you'll find a little pocket to sit in a wider field, and it'll combat the time issue because you'll just be really intentional about what you're making. After you have a format, you can make a set and leave it set up like my shot here, and it doesn't have to be as big as this. It can be tabletop, can't it, on a piece of gear. You can apply that to a performance setting if that's what you're going to do, and that'll save you a ton of time. I think personally though, you need to avoid making everything about a product or a song though. You need to be the product, and then the other things just raise your profile, because if you have a song that people love, for example, they won't necessarily care about the next one, but if they love you, they'll turn up even on your worst days too. Rhyme unintentional there, by the way. I'm getting to a point where all my ducks in a row, and really soon I'll be able to make all my content just out of making music, which is the dream, isn't it? And it came off a really intentional strategy based on what I've learned, because I've made a lot of mistakes like we all do. Some that I'll never get over. Then to monetize, people overcomplicate this too, if you ask me. Initially, I think the best thing is to sell your time rather than a product. I think products are really hard to sell. If time's precious to you, then put a price on it, and then it makes it easier to give that time up. You can decide what you can offer to a person who's watching you specifically, and then offer that help at a cost for your time. And I think that's a fair trade. You know, we do it in every other walk of life. Eventually, you can move to selling products or even crowdfunding if you need that time back. There's really easy ways to do it now. You can just use Calendly or even just Zoom, or you can use your own website. But when you think about it and break it down, you only really need 60 people at 35 quid and you've made your £2,000. And then you can buy all the sexy gear you like. And if you do want to make better content in just 4 minutes, then go to my description and join my new regular emails. I'll be sticking all the details in there about the hour-long workshop on making strategies, and I'll be breaking down everything in more detail with more focused, actionable steps, and it'll be live, be friggin' live, be able to talk to me. If you want to know the biggest problem with doing what we've spoken about today, though, and why I still think YouTube's broken for synth musicians, then click on this video wherever it is. Have you clicked yet? Come on, I need to be off.